Bobby Althoff just dropped their new interview earlier this morning, despite the fact that the first interview got a lot of backlash from people in hip hop medias and hip hop fans because they want to see Drake sit down and speak to somebody in hip hop media or of the culture who would ask Drake questions that we want to know, opposed to doing softball interviews with Bobby Althoff or other people who aren't really of the culture. But during this interview, it looks like Drake heard all the criticism from the first interview, and Drake's kind of threw shots or strike back at hip-hop media. Now, Drake's shots at hip-hop media was pretty blanket and targeted at the same time. It was blanket because he didn't say names, but it was targeted because we knew exactly who he was referring to.
I really do feel like, and people are asked, like, oh, why are you here doing this again? Like, what's the point? Like, even on the way up here, like, my boy was like, why are you doing this again? And I was like, well, what we did, like, it changed a lot of things for a lot of people. It was
like what?
Me essentially, like, just recognizing somebody that I never met in my life, that I fully believed in, that I thought was really interesting, and I wanted to have an interesting conversation with. It pissed off, like, so many, like, all these losers, these, like, you know, like, story journalists, and, like, this guy and that guy who, like, feels so entitled to this interview about, and Drake never does anything for, like, this type of media, and it just, like, made people so angry.
Before the battle, y'all knew my stance. I was making multiple videos calling Drake out for not doing any interviews with hip-hop media or with someone from the culture or within the culture who can ask him the hard-pressing questions that we want to know. I was calling Drake out too. Post-battle, I gotta take a hard look in that mirror and look at hip-hop media and say, who can Drake do an interview with in hip-hop media post the battle? In this current era of Stan Wars, who could Drake do an interview with that will satisfy the culture?
Talk to me.
He can't do an interview with the quote-unquote legacy journalist that y'all want to see him with.
Who?
Elliot, cut it out, bro. Elliot posted multiple renditions of Not Like Us just to troll Drake.
Who's Elliot?
Who else? Rob Markman. Drake despises him. He hates Drake. He's a Kendrick guy. Who else? The company man, cut it out, man.
Okay.
He hates Drake.
I don't know none of these
Drake
guys.
Do an interview with? Who? Go down the list. Even if you want to say, okay, do an interview with somebody that he likes. DJ Academics, that wouldn't satisfy the culture because it's a home turf interview. It would be a nice interview. Just like I wouldn't want to see Kendrick Lamar with DJ Head or Glasses Malone. It's home turf. It's too friendly.
What that got to do?
Who on the top 25 media list can Drake do an interview with? We don't have it. And we have ourselves to blame. Same reason Kendrick Lamar don't have much options to do an interview with. It's because of us. So when you ask Drake, hey Drake, do an interview. Hey Drake, give a stimulus package to somebody unknown, like how you give a stimulus package to Bobby Althoff. Who would Drake give that stimulus package to? Who? Screwface Gene, cut it out.
I don't know none of these guys, bro.
Who, man? Who?
I got to do my research.
My guy, what's the dirt? Y'all wouldn't be satisfied with that. Who? So before we complain, we now have to ask ourselves, who can it be? Ebro? Ebro has slandered Drake for the last, 5 years? Calling Drake blackness into question, questioning Drake's mother heritage. Nadeska, who was crying in front of Kendrick Lamar while conducting an interview with him?
Okay.
Jeremy Hatchuck. Who? Now I love Jeremy, by the way, but who? Because we're currently in an era of Stan Wars, you either pro Kendrick or pro Drake. There's very few people who are in the middle, and those who are in the middle, y'all push to a side anyway. I think I'm in the middle, but y'all push me to a side.
I'm in the middle.
Even though I was kicked out the OVO.
I don't care about none of the beef.
Y'all still push me to a side because I call it down the middle. So it's easy for us to say Drake do an interview, but it's harder to list the person Drake can do an interview with. Go down that top 25 hip-hop media list by Complex, which I don't think that's the media list, okay? Who? Zias and B. Lou, that wouldn't satisfy the culture.
Wouldn't it?
That wouldn't satisfy the culture.
if Drake did an interview with Zeus and B. Lou, that would satisfy me. And over a lot of people, that's all that matters. It don't matter who it don't satisfy.
Bootleg Kev, he's West Coast, right? He's pro Kendrick. Drake wouldn't do that, right? Big Boy come West Coast. Drake wouldn't do that.
I like that Zeus and B. Lou one.
DDG, we would see that, but that wouldn't satisfy the culture. That would be another softball interview with a streamer. Elliot, cut it out. DJ Head, come on. West Coast. Jadakiss and Fat Joe.
Bless you.
I'll be real.
Bless you.
That might be an option, but they don't ask no hard-hitting questions. Have you ever watched a Jadakiss and Fat Joe podcast or interview?
I haven't.
Have you ever done it?
I haven't.
Go watch one of those interviews, bro.
I'm not too interested in it.
The entire podcast will be Jadakiss and Fat Joe skirting around controversial issues, talking about we ain't trying to be messy, yo. We ain't trying to be messy, yo. We different from other podcasts, son. Who else? Shannon Sharp, man.
Okay.
Yo, y'all will blackball Drake immediately, bro.
Why?
Trapper Ross, come on.
Bro.
I want to see it.
Like, what is... If Drake did an interview with Shannon Sharp, what backlash is there from that, bro? I don't see the issue.
But that's too friendly. Ebro, no chance. Nori, come on. Drink champs. Maybe we got one. I love Nori. But if we're relying on Drink champs to do a textbook journalistic interview with Drake, then we've already lost the plot.
That two people who actually never sue the other. That two people who actually have just maybe nothing to talk about, or everything to talk about, but just based on random energy could come together. I think it changed a lot of things. It changed a lot of things on TikTok. It changed a lot of things in the streaming world. It made people more comfortable to go sit down with somebody that they've never sat down with before. Not to take overly take credit, but
I think he's just chatting, bro, because they been doing, bro, what is he talking about? This is not no big milestone in interviewing or nowhere. This created nothing big, bro, other than people to talk about it. Other than that, it didn't create nothing.
When I do see somebody, who keeps to themselves, a Nicki Minaj, go to Kai Cenat's house, or I see these musicians go to a guy like Blackboy Max's studio and start making songs with him. I feel we did usher in the idea of just
what?
You can be from two completely different walks of life, celebrities.
So maybe he doesn't know, but these streamers have been bringing on celebrities that they have nothing in common with onto their streams. That's literally all he's saying right now. Being on camera with somebody you have not much in common with. These streamers been doing that.
Are not here that we're the goal is not to be some unattainable for your whole life, and only to sit with Zane Lowe while he asks you the most curated and formal questions. No disrespect to him,
Yeah.
Drake, I just got done doing a video where I'm calling Young Thug delusional. I'm not gonna let you escape by it, homie. You didn't invent the genre where rappers go on other platforms
Literally.
with streamers, bro. You cut it out, man.
You had nothing
Tory
to do
Lanez
with that.
was doing that before you. Aiden Ross had multiple rappers during the pandemic. Drake, stop it, homie. We love you. Don't go down this route. For God's sakes, don't go down this route.
Don't go down that route.
I think Drake would be perfectly good in his right to say, hey, listen, man, I'm not doing no interviews with none of y'all, right? Because y'all hated on me, right? Because y'all, right, have tried to end me. F y'all. He'll be in his right to say that. Now, do I believe Drake owes the culture this? I do believe he owes it, but I don't believe Drake
I disagree.
is owing it alone, right? I think the same pressure we putting on Drake.
He talking about, do I believe he owes the culture this? He is somebody who makes music. He's good at it. and us as the listeners like it. He doesn't force us to like his music. He doesn't owe us nothing. You feel me?
We gotta put it on Kendrick. Kendrick has to come out and sit down too. If we
It
claim that
these
Drake
two
has to
don't
do it,
gotta
right?
do nothing.
Now Elliot Wilson hasn't fully responded back to this just
That's
yet.
something I don't
but
like.
He responded back to the Drake and Bobby Altoff interview about 3 days ago, before the full interview fully dropped. And here's what he had to say about it.
So that was rooted in controversy. So now she fake retires, and now she's back with another Drake interview, and it's just like, again, we also feel like Drake now is playing the hand of these people outside of this thing, sitting with the Aiden Rosses and all these other people, and I get it, it's part of the stake thing and gambling and kicks and whatever the fuck business deals he had. He ain't sit with no hip hop people. He pumped fake Castanat that he was gonna do a stream and pick these 17 contest winners of the fucking video, 19 contest winners of the video contest, and now he just throws it out of nowhere, with no stream with Castanat, and just throws it out now the same week, ironically. And then he wants to kick Rob Marcus back in because everybody's making fun that you're not talking to people outside the culture. So it all fucking connects. And no, I don't like this shit. And it's dumb. It's stupid.
You want to know why it shouldn't bother you?
Because it's entertainment. And I don't expect people at this point, and I said it before, I don't expect, especially even Drake, Kendrick, or Cole.
He talking about, I don't expect people to understand that. Like, you're the one that's ranting and mad right now. He's trying to help you understand that right now. What are you talking about?
To do a real sit down with someone and really dissect their feelings of the last 2 years and tell their truth. I don't think there's value to them for that. Like that. Somebody, even academics, made a point about that. It's like, do we get to the point where it's Vlad and we're paying for interviews? Because that is a lot of value, right? A Drake interview, a real interview, is worth what, hundreds of thousands of dollars, I would think, right?
Million.
Yeah, exactly. So then, are we gonna start doing that? Put bounties up and, hey Kendrick, I got $2 million for you. Have to sit down with me and DJ Head. He won't do it. That's what I'm saying.
$2 million?
Of them can have a real interview. So let's take it outside the culture thing. I think what we loved about the clips and what we hate about this type of stuff is that
Certain people have a price.
we want to hear real interviews with people. Real interviews. And Drake, Kendrick, or Cole have no interest in doing a real interview.
I don't be watching these interviews, but like, what is so wrong with getting to see Drake like in a different light? Like in the interviews with Bobby, we don't see him. Like, I just see clips, you feel me? And like, based on those clips, you wouldn't expect Drake to act like that. So like, we see a different side of him. So it's like, bro, you want to interview him just to get some money out of it and just to like trip him up and like make him stutter and stuff, or like ask him controversial questions. It's like, bro, is it that serious to you that you ask him controversial questions? Like, that's why I used to tune into the little streams where the celebrities would be on, or the rappers would be on, like back in the earlier days, because they would just be normal and not even act like the camera was there, like back in the Aiden days. But now it's trash. Now they know the streamers got motion like that, and they just overly focused on the cameras. Bless you.
With anyone right now. But yeah, we're supposed to just take this as what it's going to
Let
be.
me know if I'm wrong, though.
It's just satire.
Elliot Wilson's assessment of what this interview was going to be was actually spot on, to be honest. All right? It was malarkey and foolery from the very beginning. Like, Drake at some point burst out in that interview and was singing to Bobby.
You like a lot of makeup on a girl? What's your thought? Don't do that. I don't like this. Do you like girls with makeup or no makeup?
Like, I guess I understand. They're saying like just listen to the questions she's asking right now. Like, there's no weight to it, I guess, but it's like they just chilling. Like, she's kind of taking what the streamers used to do back in the day, like Aiden, and she's just making it a podcast instead. It's not live. Like, I don't know. I guess they're mad because it's supposed to be an interview and she's not asking the questions they want her to ask. Like, come on, you can't get mad at her for that.
Makeup or no makeup? I don't like the sound of this. What are you singing? I feel like I've heard what you're singing.
Clearly, it's clear as day, Drake at this stage in his career is not interested in no hard-hitting interview with a journalist.
Who would
But
be?
that's what made this interview hella more
At any
frustrating.
stage.
Because clearly Drake isn't taking his interview seriously. But Drake also engaged in conversation pieces that we care about. But Bobby Althoff was the interviewer, and she was incompetent or smart enough to know it's not her lane, so she kept quiet. So when he engaged in these conversations or the subjects that we care about, we kind of got the itch scratched, but we never truly got the in-depth conversation that we are yearning for. Like when Drake talked about how he feels when people call him a culture vulture. That's a conversation piece that we care about. But unfortunately for us, the interviewer was Bobby Althoff.
Oh, you're a culture vulture, or like you like people will describe the collaborative efforts that I've put forth and the artists that I've picked up and lifted up or shine a light on as me taking, they'll put a negative spin on it and try and tell me, that it's a self-serving thing or whatever. And I think I get really sensitive about that. And I think at that moment I was just like,
Wait, how is him putting somebody on a self-serving thing? And even if it is, still, how is that bad? Like, if he feels good from helping other people out, or like, or are they trying to say like he just does it so he looks good in the public eye? He just puts people on so he looks good in the public eye. But even if that was the case, he's still putting someone on. Like, somebody is still making generational money off of him being selfish or not being selfish, possibly. So that's a form of unselfishness, if you feel me. I'm not even a Drake fan, bro. Like, I don't listen to this kind of music, but I'm gonna always be unbiased, bro.
but then don't
I'ma always keep it 100.
worry about it.
Anybody, and literally anyone who meets the bare qualifications for being competent would have used this as a segue into
But yeah,
like Cousin Kendrick calling him a
I wouldn't have even, like, that's another thing. I didn't listen to none of their songs that they made during that beef, but I just heard a lot, like, from TikTok. Like, I never actually went on Drake's YouTube or Kendrick's YouTube and, like, saw the songs that they were dissing each other with. So I wouldn't have even been able to ask that question myself, but if I was Bobby, I would have been like I would have made him go into more detail about that culture vulture stuff, because I actually don't even really understand it for real.
And have that conversation. But I can't even give Bobby too much, like flack, because Drake don't do interviews where he's walking into it not knowing the questions. Drake in his interviews right now, he scripts the questions. He knows exactly what's being asked. His team control the footage and the editing, so they pick and choose what to edit out and what to keep. So it was probably out of Bobby's hands. But I would have loved to see somebody of the culture do a deep dive on this and address Kendrick Lamar accusing him of being this. You even had moments where Drake would reference his beef with Rick Ross, and it went swoop, right over Bobby Althoff's head, not knowing exactly what's going on, bruh. And as a fan of the culture, man, you just sit back and you said, we were robbed of certain conversations being had, man, because the interviewer was incompetent or had her hands tied behind her back and didn't really have the control of power to act certain things.
I've never seen someone ice rosé, but
You've never seen someone ice rosé? Well, talk to every jeweler in Miami that has fake diamonds.
really they do that?
Nobody got that joke. You know what I did, man? Fuck.
I didn't get it.
Fuck all y'all quit. For real, man. I see y'all boys outside when I see y'all, man. For real, man. On some real shit. I talk some body shit. I will I'm gonna see y'all, but I see y'all, man, for real. You know, I got. Oh, there it is. Straight up talk.
I don't know if you should have done all that.
Yeah.
I'm taking this.
They
Maybe
just
that was-
in that big room. That's a weird set. I ain't gonna lie. It don't even look like there's like, I don't know. That's a weird set.
trolling satire, or maybe he was real when he says, "Yo, I'm gonna see y'all pee soon" in his Atlanta accent. I don't know, man. I feel like that was kind of corny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't have done that, to be honest. But yeah, man. All right. How do y'all feel about?
Alright, man. Let me know what y'all think. The video pretty much over. I want to thank y'all for 100 subs again. We doing this all off of a phone, bro. Off of $100 or $200 Samsung phone, and my videos are literally delayed. So I just want to thank you all.